Eli, are you wearing the hat like that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I was like, I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then people who continuously watch the show, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's from the last episode."
I hate it so much.
Why?
It looks fucking stupid.
What?
Your hair,
Stupidly
alone,
good.
Your hair alone makes the hat like just. It's not on your head. It's on above your head. Your hat's on above. You put it above the fucking headset. You're nuts.
I tried.
Should I do it too? Should we both?
Yes, yes, dude, yes, yeah. If you want to do it, dude, that would be. See the energy. Yeah. Fuck yes. This is how we, dude. This is how we make our trends. Yes, beautiful.
We're hatting it.
We're hatting it.
Forward.
Let's go. See camp sip. I'm glad you know what true swag
I don't
is.
got the hairs out like you.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It ain't gonna stay on.
Damn. Like we'll just get some duct tape. Fucking tape that bitch on top. Okay. Oh, we're recording already. Oh shit. Oh, my fault. Fuck it. Yeah. Shit, we're fucking live. No, I wanted to ask. So like, actually, continue the question too. Of have you ever done like any entrepreneurial like business like growing up, or like tackling the 508 sneaker store was your first like experience getting into the business world of things in general?
Getting into the business world of things, I started with shoes a long time ago. You're talking like 2012. I was still a senior in high school. I started collecting them back then, and at first it was more just like a collection. It wasn't something I had thought about doing as a business. And my focus at the time was being a personal trainer and doing nutrition, which is what I went to college for at first originally. But then I ended up switching into business major at UMass Dartmouth. So I did. I never finished my degree because I opened my first store about halfway through, and COVID shut down college, and I ended up not going back. But yeah, I did have a little bit of a business college, learning there. And then the shoes, I was doing it on the side for a long time, man, through Facebook, doing meetups in like Walmart parking lots. I was doing eBay. Kixify was a really big one that I was selling. Kixify was like an eBay, but only for shoes.
Oh, I've never heard.
It was very popular in probably like the 2015 area. Same with Grailed. Grailed was an app. It had just came out. It was the same thing. It was like reselling used sneakers.
Oh, okay, shit.
And that's pretty much how I started, was just buying them for myself, getting tired of them, reselling them. And after a while, I noticed that it was easy to buy bundles off people when they were like trying to move or they needed to buy a car and they just wanted to sell their collection all at once. And it was for less than the shoes were worth. And then I started buying them and just flipping them. I got a name for myself, and that's how it all kind of started. So.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I was gonna say actually, like, was it the shoes that made you? Because you said you've been doing it for 10+ years, but like, did were you selling shoes on the side, and that's where you're like, oh, you might as well just do this full time? That switched your major, or is it just like?
No. So I was selling shoes on the side for a long time, man, and I never really thought it was ever gonna be like a career. I was always focused on like the wellness, the nutrition, and the working out. I spent so much time in the gym and learning about personal training. I got certified by ACE at one point, which was at the time was a pretty big personal training certification.
Wait, why do you say once? What? Like?
At the time, it was like back in like 2016. I'm sure that nowadays there's more up to date ones that are better than ACEs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so as far as that goes, my degree focus was exercise science. I started at Massasoit and was going to transfer to Bridgewater, but I ended up going to UMass and doing business instead.
Damn. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
So obviously, do you have family that's in that field as well, like nutrition and all that, or is it kind of just something you just picked up when?
It was me. I pretty much got into it because like two of my best friends have always been into it. Connor and Jared, and they're actually both personal trainers at the gym that I own now, and one of them is a co-owner with me. So.
Damn, tell me the story about the beginning of the gym. Like, when did you start that? Like, when you guys sat down and said, "Fuck it, let's make our own."
The gym was probably like a year ago. As far as sitting down and realizing like, yo, it's time to get that going, and it's something that I could get going. Mm-hmm. As far as like when I first got into the gym, like 2014, right after high school. When I was younger, I was always somebody who like was on the chubbier side, and I didn't like that about myself, and I just decided to change it one day, and I got really into working out. And after a few years of working out, I was like, I really want to help other people who want to change, and that's how I got into it. And Jared and Connor were two people who showed me like a lot of workouts and a lot of stuff to learn as well that I could help other people with. And then about a year ago, you know, my shoe business has been booming for about 3 years now. And I was thinking about other businesses that I could open and like I could think about doing and add into my arsenal. And I thought about the gym. I mentioned it to Jared, who is probably one of the best personal trainers around here and athletic trainers, and he was totally down with it, and that's where it started. And we found a space in January, and by April it was ready to go, and now it's June, so it's been open for about 2 months now. So,
Dude, congratulations, man. That's fucking awesome. And to
Appreciate it.
hear that you're in it for the drive of helping others too as well, because that's a big thing. A lot of people are starting to I guess yes started, but also like definitely in the past couple of years with COVID and the lockdowns of like being self-aware and wanting to be more accountable of their health and stuff like that. Like it's like when it came to actually starting up and opening the business, like what were the obstacles of like opening up the gym? Like were there like what were the obstacles you thought weren't going to be a thing but like were difficult or maybe were easier than you expected opening up the gym?
So with a gym, anybody who's opened one, who's thought about it, the toughest part is always just the startup cost. Once you buy the equipment, the only real maintenance is rent and then paying if the equipment is fixed. But it's a lot of money at first to start a gym because you need to buy all the equipment, and that's not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So that was the big thing. That moving it into the space was not fun either. You know, those are two big obstacles. But as far as like opening a gym goes, there's not really like a lot of like, you have to get insurance and just a business permit, but it's not like anything too crazy, you know.
Oh, okay. And when you said moving into the space as well, you just mean just like fully diving into like it being like a full-time like part of your life, or you just like
No, like bringing 500-pound equipment pieces like into a building and putting them in, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the part that's not easy.
you have 4 flights of stairs.
Exactly. Stuff like that.
Wait,
yeah.
really 4 flights?
Not 4, but there was one at least, and it was a far way down because it's a big mill, so that's all kinds of businesses, and it wasn't like right where the entrance was for a lot of the stuff. So there was some pieces that were tricky to get in.
Oh, okay. And like, wait, so so do people pay like a monthly thing, or is like do they pay like for the personal trainer? Like they go there for the. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so there's personal training rates, and then there's also just a monthly membership for people who don't want personal training. I feel like they need it and just want to work out on their own. Oh, so there's both there.
Yeah, that's fucking badass. It's just and with like. Do you partner with? I know you said it's only been a year since you guys have been doing this. Like, you ever have you hosted like events, like weight competitions, like lifting or anything like that?
We've only been open for 2 months, so we are still like very early on in the startup process. The only thing was that Jared had a huge clientele because he was personal training out of another gym already to start, so he had already had like 40 clients built up. Yeah, so he was all set. We're trying to get Connor some more people. So if anybody's looking for a personal trainer in the New Bedford area.
Oh yeah, hey, if you want to make yourself better,
there you go.
Hit this. I mean, and that's what it is too. It's an investment in yourself that people,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, why not invest in yourself to be a better individual? You know, some people are just like, I don't know if it's worth the money. It's like, dude, it's in yourself. It shouldn't be a question of if. Like, it's just when. You know, if you really are dedicated to wanting to better yourself, and it just takes a little effort. You know, at least to start, even if it's a single step. You know, maybe even start with a 10-pound dumbbell.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I want to go back to your sneaker collection and stuff like that too. Like, growing up, like, have you always been a collector of things? Like, kind of like doing flipping, like not just shoes, obviously. Like, I know we were talking about outside the podcast, like, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, so it's like, well, how was it? Like, tell me about that.
That was probably my first ever thing. I was wicked into Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh was my first thing when I was like 8 years old. I loved Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, I loved trading for cards, and every holiday, all I wanted was Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I was wicked into it, and then I was like, I knew that it was worth money, so I was always selling cards, buying new ones. So you ask anybody, like, they'll probably tell you I've always had like a business orientation to me. That's for sure. So
yeah, no, that's all I was gonna say. And then like, actually, I was gonna ask, do you have a dual disc too? Do you still have a dual disc?
I don't. No, I did.
Fuck.
I did when I was a kid, but I don't anymore. No.
I was like trying to like dig through all my old shit, like my mom's house. I'm like, damn, where's the fucking dual disc? I swear I had this. It's like worth like goddamn like $600 plus now. And you're like, well, damn, I didn't know this piece of plastic could be worse. I'm like,
yeah, no, I don't have that. I used to have like the little figures too that you could put in, like the ones that he's got up there.
Oh yes. Oh, those
Yep.
fucking figures. I never got those figures. Honestly, I don't know why. I
Yep,
just
I used to have a bunch of those too.
damn it. And like, did you have family members that like were entrepreneurial? Like, did you have any inspiration like growing up from like parents or uncles or family members that had the entrepreneurial mindset like yourself? Or are you like the first one that really like dove headfirst into going into this career path in general?
Yeah, I'm the first. All of my other relatives were, employees of businesses. So I'm the first one who is a self-made business owner.
Yeah, that's it. And like, has that motivated your your family, like anyone else to go that route too? Or
I not yet at least. I do have 2 younger sisters who are 11 and 16. So I don't know what they're doing yet
yeah,
with themselves. I mean, my sister is in high school to do be an RN, a registered nurse. So
hey,
I guess the opportunity's still there.
hey, shit, you never know, right? Especially in
Yeah.
this day and age, got goddamn curveballs getting thrown at us left and right. Like, oh shit, gotta dodge it left and right. You're like, oh god damn, it's like I feel like I'm in the Matrix trying to dodge all the bullshit that's happening on right now.
Yeah.
It's like, especially now with technology and like the advancements we have now, you can do so much just honestly at home with the computer and all that shit, And do you want to explain your your journey too of like, were you headstrong like jumping into this like career when you first first started like making it a full-time thing? Like, were you hesitant about it? Like, maybe I don't know if this will work. Like, what were the things going through your mind when starting this career, like starting your business and all that?
Yeah, so when I started this, it was actually during the pandemic. And the reason for that is at the time I was working at GNC, which is the General Nutrition Center. It's like the protein place. And they pretty much told me that they had gone bankrupt and that they were going to be closing a lot of locations, and they did. And I was left without a job. So, I had already been working on the side for doing the shoot thing, and I had already been building that up, and I knew that I was going to leave GNC anyway, so that kind of was like the tipping point where it's like, all right, now I'm going to take this seriously and really focus on it. And I want to say I focused on it for about 6 months after that as doing it full time before I was able to open my first store. And it was just a small 500 square foot, space inside the mill. And I started there, and from there, it just became a very big thing to the point where I outgrew the space in less than a year as far as inventory goes. Wow. That's when I was able to get the Fairhaven location, which is where I'm at now. And I had a grand opening there, and that was last September. It was September 3rd. And I remember posting the post, and it was a picture of me with a bunch of shoes on a wall behind me with the lights, and it actually got shared 700 times on Facebook, and it got seen by almost 75,000 people. Wow. And I had people come on grand opening day all the way from New York, Connecticut. There was a line out the door almost the whole 5-hour day. There's videos and pictures on my Instagram and everything. It was crazy. It was like a 2-day thing, too, and even the Sunday, it was a Saturday into a Sunday, and the Sunday was crazy, too, but there was like a line out the door pretty much for the whole weekend, and I could probably tell you at least 400 people came. Yeah, it was a huge weekend, bro.
Damn, how, like, I can't imagine the feeling, man, to like see, like, to even expect, like, because obviously you want that rollout, but it's like the last thing you expect. Maybe it might be big, but maybe it won't be too many people. Like, how is that feeling to like see like your dreams really have support?
It is crazy. At the time, it was just honestly I couldn't really believe it because going into that, I was so stressed. Setting it up, the store. I remember like every day that was all I was doing for like 2 months. Not 2 months, but like 5 weeks. It was like a gap period between closing the other store and moving and open up the other one. And obviously the whole time I'm anxious, I'm stressed. I'm like, I don't know how many people are going to come. I don't know who's going to show up. Is it going to be a big deal? I don't want it to be a bust. I kind of knew it wasn't going to be a bust because I had already established myself pretty well with the first store. But I couldn't have imagined it to be as big of a deal as it was, And if you look at pictures from when I first opened that store to today, the amount of shoes and just like the product in there has probably like tripled. There's no room left at all in that location, and that's why now I'm already branching into a second one. So
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, I was gonna say too, like, what like interests you about like the shoes though? Like, is it like the story behind them? Like, what like? Because my cousin, like, I feel like around here especially, it's just you see, sneakerheads, they love the culture, just like collecting all this stuff. But like, what 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 attracts you about it? Like, is it the way it's made? Is it like the art, the design, how it's created? Like, what makes you so fascinated about it?
Yeah, it was definitely the look. I had never been into sneakers, and my brother got into them when he was younger, back in 2012, and he was kind of definitely who influenced me to start collecting them. And then I bought a few of them, and then it just kind of became an addiction. I'm not gonna lie. Before I even started selling any of them, I probably had like a personal collection of like 150
What?
pairs. Yeah,
God damn.
yeah, like it was big. I was just collecting them and keeping them. Honestly, putting like everything I had just into that collection because I wanted to like have it and have it sustain value and stuff. So I was a collector before I was a reseller making money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that became the plus, right? Is being able to
Exactly.
make a flip out of it.
Yep. But I mean, you also have to realize too, like once it turns from a hobby into a business, you're always gonna lose like some of that like passion because then you have to realize now you have to draw a line, between business and what you can collect. You can't keep everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you keep everything, you're never gonna flip anything. You're not gonna make any money. It's not gonna be a career. So you really have to discipline yourself on that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's definitely good to say because like even other entrepreneurs out there, artists for example, and stuff like that. It's all fun until it's a full-time thing. You're like, oh damn, now you're getting stressed because like, oh, I have to get this thing done. I have to do this. I can't like not. It's it's a bigger weight on your shoulders now, and but it's a our business. It's if you want to thrive, and I can imagine every pair of shoes you sell though, seeing the smile and the the stories that connections you make with them too as well. That's worth more than just the shoe itself.
Yeah, that was I remember when I first opened Faven Store, like that was what I was looking forward to the most is just having the people walk in and the amount of people just telling me how great the store looked and how crazy how far I've came from where I was. And just when you sell products that you love and you're selling them to people and you see that they love them too, it makes it a lot better than when you're just trying to push like random items onto people that you don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you got to build like a really good customer relationship with a lot of them, especially your repeat customers, because you want them to feel happy coming into your store. So the main focus is always focusing on your customer and not always money, especially in business like retail.
Oh, facts, 100%. It's better, have that consistency of the customer coming to support you as well, and again, it's just, because again, with that bigger connection, you realize, it's more than just a customer. It's, this individual who, respects my craft as well. And in turn, the same for them and shit, probably motivating them maybe to do something else as well. Like, oh, damn, like, this guy's literally, selling. This is something I do for fun as a hobby. This guy's making it a career. Like shit, it can motivate someone to do that shit. I was gonna say actually, would you ever be interested to make your own shoe, like having your own like manufacturing and shit like that? Like
my own shoe, I don't know. I don't know if I could design one. I'm not creative in that sense. I'm very business creative, with marketing and like advertising and stuff. But when it comes down to like actually like doing artwork and all that, it's just never been my thing. It's not me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I respect that because that's not me with the business shit. I'm like, oh god, I can't. Like when it comes to numbers and all this shit, I'm like, I'll hire someone for that. Yeah. It's like a few times I asked to help me with the creativity part, but no, but like with your business as well, like do you do like any like giveaways or maybe like any like collaborations with other like local companies by any chance? Like when it comes like vintage stores or anything like that?
Yeah, so I've done a handful of giveaways for gift cards, even for shoes at the store. Usually is when I hit a certain followers amount. I've done collab posts with like other vintage stores, like you said. Like a couple of my friends own some in that mill as well.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
Want to shout them out?
Yeah, that's Eye of the Dog Vintage and Deep Finds. They're both in there.
I have the dog.
Yeah.
Why does that sound mad familiar? I don't know.
I have the dog is it's a nice vintage store in the Kilburn, Maryland. It's owned by Ryan, and then Deep Finds is also a vintage clothing store that has like Funko Pops and other toys and stuff too.
Oh, like that kind of nerdy side of like
Yes.
thing. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
swing by there,
Yeah.
and that's what I like too that they're doing in the New Bedford. Man, again, is just like bringing back the power to the small business owner and like local families. You know, it's just we lost that in the past couple of years. You know, with sadly family business not being able to make it through COVID and shit like that, and not be able to like keep up with rent or whatever it may be. You know, what I mean, whatever it may be. You know, I don't know. You know, teach their own. But so it's good to see that the city's giving back. Well, not giving back, but it's just like seeing the community grow stronger of entrepreneurs and supporting each other. And it's a real character. That's what makes this, the state, the country, like absolutely great is seeing individuals like yourself who are able to get out of the typical just path of things. You're like, yo, I'm going to do things my way and just see how it fucking goes.
Yep.
You know, it's, I don't know. I like that way. But actually, I want to talk about, because I know you said you do have another store, the Streetwear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like is that an expansion of like the 508 brand into clothes, or is that another like vintage like clothing?
So it's kind of both. At the sneaker store earlier this year, I started carrying Essentials, which is like it's a popular clothing brand out of California. It was doing really well. I just don't have the room for it at that store, so I was like, I think it's time to open up, a streetwear store because I'm getting a lot of clientele who like that type of stuff too. So I connected with my friend John, who is the owner of his own business, as well as an event that comes to New Bedford, and it focuses on small entrepreneurs and like all that stuff. It's called Mass Collective.
Oh yeah, Wolf and
yeah.
Bear Co. shouted them out too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh wow, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, Mass Collective. Yeah, he's the owner of that. So it's pretty much the only like event around here that brings like entrepreneurs together, whether it's like the resell, the vintage clothing, and all that. So he co-owns this with me, and it's a lot of essentials. It's Supreme, Bape, Kith.
Oh damn.
Cause, Off-White, like the the more exclusive stuff like that. Then there is some sneakers, and there is also a streetwear brand that we're creating, as well as we have two other New Bedford-based clothing brands going in there too. Longevity Co.
That sounds mad familiar. Longevity.
Longevity.
Co.
It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that would definitely ring a bell. I'm more of like a photo
The
person.
logo is an Anchor.
Oh yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an
Yep.
Anchor,
Yep.
and it's LCO.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's very fucking badass. What?
Yeah, them, and then a newer brand called Six Shooter is gonna
Six
be in
Shooter?
there. Yeah.
No, I never heard that. Six
Yeah,
shooter.
they're partnered, but that's a newer one. Longevity Co.'s probably been around for like 10 years now.
Yeah. See, and that's like when I first moved out of here. I don't know, but how long has he been doing the Mass Collective? Like, how many years is that? Like,
I
is it
want to
just
say
recent?
2 or 3.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was gonna say because I remember when I lived here, they didn't have anything like that, and I was like, damn, like it's I don't know, just didn't. Because when I moved down to Virginia, that's where I seen a lot. Was a lot of vendor events, like a lot of pop ups to get local entrepreneurs. I'm like, damn, this is something I want. It should have been back in New Bedford, but then I started seeing, your company, Wolf and Bear Co. The Artisan. I don't know if you know the Artisan. It's another local business, and what he does is all the proceeds as well go to like 10% of the proceeds go to environmental and marine life cleanups and stuff like that. And I think
nice.
that's really cool because again, it's with New Bedford, we have this old history of like textile mills and like fishing industry and stuff like that. But we're more than just that too. It's we're in there's so much creativity out here. It's like goddamn, why not shine a light on it? And how much it's I don't know. It makes it even better. Like as a city, to do that shit. So I don't know. It's good that hearing about Mass Collective and it's starting to pick up more. So I can't imagine to see like what other like avenues are going to be open up with the collaborations to be made.
I would say give it like 2 more years, and it'll probably be like, a really big thing. It's already getting there. The last one was just at Vogue Tech, and there was 140 vendors. So
Oh, wow.
It filled the gymnasium.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a big event for this area, and I think that there's not a single like other person around here who really is gonna do it. So I really think John's the guy for that. So
Damn, I'll have to get that shit. I'll have to get John on.
yeah,
That was actually really cool to pick his brain. Damn. And he's a local, I can imagine too, huh? That's
yeah,
yep.
yep. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he graduated from New Bedford High or Volk, one of the two of them.
Oh, shit. Were you born and raised in Massachusetts all your life, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you travel do you travel a lot at all, like across the country, outside the country?
My grandparents live in Florida, so I've been there several times.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
yeah, but I've lived in Massachusetts and Fairhaven pretty much my whole life. So
Oh, okay. Damn. Yeah, Florida's beautiful too. I like Florida. I've been there a couple times, but that's hurricanes, man.
Yeah, I know.
They'd be fucking you up. I'm like, how y'all old people want to retire here? It's like, what the fuck? They
I
just,
know.
they just want to fly around the goddamn. No. They just like no. They like their goddamn teach their own, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's the great thing about this goddamn country. And like because I know you were a part of this Facebook group, right? The was another 508 sneaker, was it sneakerheads
Yeah.
or yeah, so
Yep.
like how that, because I know you were a big part of like bringing that up as well. Like how did you get yourself into that? It was just like you talked to the owner of it and then got yourself in. Like how did that go?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been on that page since it pretty much started back in 2012. You know, I was definitely one of the first people on there. And then in 2017, I talked to him, and you know, I'd been putting a lot of work in, and he asked me to be an admin, which is just somebody who helps
Yeah.
run the page. And I've been doing that now for a while, and that's definitely a big help as to what, you know, got my store up and running, because it was a place where I could post stuff for sale and also buy off and trade with other people, because that's a big group. Like, that's the biggest group around that probably has like a 20,000 member count to it, you know, of just people who buy, sell, and trade shoes. So that's a big outlet for anybody who wants to buy, sell, and trade shoes, not just me, because it's for the public. So the owner of that is Brandon Keith Oliver, and he's been doing that, like, he's been collecting over 10 years as well, and he started, you know, the best Facebook group around for shoes.
Would you?
So-
I was gonna say, like, as an industry too, like, you know, what I mean, it's. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't say it's a niche market, but it is a niche market in a sense when it comes to just, you know, selling shoes and stuff like that. Like, is it hard? Like, is it still, even with your, you know, your luckily your influx of supportive, you know, local customers? Is it still hard to like? Because there's so much challenge, so much like other businesses that do the same thing, you know. So like, is it very like, I guess. Is the industry like almost cutthroat, or is it kind of just, is it very supportive, like in your experience going through?
It's definitely, it can be cutthroat. It really just is a representation of the person and his business. You know, I try and work with everybody, but there's definitely people who don't, you know. But as far as like, I wouldn't even, this used to be a niche. This is not a niche anymore. Pretty much everybody is into this market now, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I have kids, girls, like older people, everybody, you know, this is, collecting shoes is very big right now. It's probably the biggest it's ever been, and I still think it's gonna continue to go up. You know, it's just something about like fashion. I mean, it's just the celebrities wear them. You know, it's the big social media thing right now. Everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to like look fresh, you know, and look their best. And it's just a great time to be in that market, you know. And luckily, I've been in it since it was not that popular, so I know pretty much everything about it at this point, you know. So,
Like really dove in and did your knowledge on the whole like history of the shoes and all that stuff like that.
exactly, yeah. Like, there's shoes that like they'll come in my store and I see them and I'm like, wow, I haven't seen those in forever. But other people would see them and they wouldn't even care about them, you know, because they're not what's really popular anymore. But like, as an original sneakerhead, there's a lot of stuff that comes in and it's like, wow, that's from 2012, and it's like people don't even know what that is, you know, because they haven't been collecting for that long. They just got into it within the last couple of years, when pretty much like the Yeezys and the Dunks and the Fours have been like the top dogs since then. So
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like people who don't see the value, like, and like having that keen eye and the knowledge to see the value in, you know, everything when it comes to the whole industry. Because like honestly, I'm in the same boat. Like I just buy shoes. I'm just fucking buy. Well, me anyway. I just buy fucking shoes. I'm like, I'm not really
yeah,
picky on my, like, the most expensive shoes I probably buy are my running shoes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just get myself a nice pair of A6s. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm chilling. Or my hiking like Merrells and shit like that.
Yeah.
Do you want it? Do you think about expanding to like other shoes as well? Or are you gonna keep it like Nike and, you know, Yeezy, that whole thing? Like,
Well,
do you
that,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. That's kind of like the challenging part. It's like when you start carrying like basic stuff that you can get at Foot Locker and stuff. It's it's hard to get people to buy from you because then it's like also available at a chain. You know what I'm saying? So like I usually capitalize off carrying the stuff that you can't get everywhere else. You know,
Gotcha.
and that's the main selling point.
Keep that niche mark, like not niche,
Exactly.
but yeah, keep the uniqueness
Yeah,
of the whole.
you want the stuff that's not easily readily available. You know.
Is it? I was gonna say. I know you said earlier that like it's like you've been getting like bundles from like people just trying to like like get their collections off and stuff like that. But like, do you still find it hard to find like? Is there certain shoes you look for that you like keep your eye on and stuff like that? Like where it comes to collecting and stuff like that, or is it kind of just whatever comes your way and you see the value? Like, all right, I'm just gonna get what I can.
Yeah, so that is usually how it is. You get
Yeah.
what you can. What gets brought in, you buy it or you don't. Luckily for me, like I've just established myself so well in this area, like I pretty much don't ever worry about it. I have like always have people trying to sell me stuff. There's always conventions, whether I gotta travel to New York, I'll travel to Miami if I have to, California to get inventory. I haven't yet, but I'm
Mhm.
not opposed to doing it. Eventually, I'm sure I'm gonna grow to the point where I'm gonna need to find inventory, So, but for now, my store does a great job at sustaining itself, so it's in a good place.
Damn, that's awesome to hear, man. Like especially in this day and age, with so much like chaos, like economy and like other ways too. It's like it's great to hear that, especially for a business owner. It's like shit. It's already hard enough for business owners to keep their head above water. So to hear that is awesome. I'm happy to hear that for you. Seriously.
Thank you, bro.
No, of course. And like I wanted to actually go back on I keep hopping to like the gym. Do you plan? Do you guys do like programs or anything, like sell like work? I know again it's only been 2 months and stuff like that, but like do you sell like work? You think about moving into like workout programs to sell people and stuff online, like maybe like a 6-week program, like like here's
Like a trainer program.
yeah, like is that something you think about again that avenue? You want to keep it personal, like one-on-one of people coming into the store and shit like that. Like I know this is a long-term kind of like idea, but like
Yeah.
later in the future. But
I'm sure it's not something that the trainers there would be against. The problem is with that is a lot of people really don't like get the results when they don't show up in person. Like doing it over like webcam or like a guided one, it's never gonna be the same as being pushed through it by another person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very easy to hand somebody a sheet and be like, these are the workouts you have to do. This is the weight you should be doing. This is how much you'll go up next week. When you're physically there with them and you're watching them like do it and you're making sure their form is right and you're pushing them to do better and they're physically showing up, they're going to see the best results, honestly. And I think that that's the best way to go about it. I know that everybody can't go about it that way because maybe, people want to train with him from far away and stuff. But I definitely think that anybody who can capitalize on an in-person training regimen should, because it's more beneficial.
100%, especially nowadays with the human. We're so used to everything being online now and stuff like that. Like you said, it's just we lose that human connection.
Exactly.
And what I mean, and like you said, when you go there every day and you have someone to hold you accountable, put your feet to the fire. Like, all right, I can't let them
Slack
down.
off. Exactly.
Yeah, and no, and that's like. Shit, I've honestly been slacking. I'm slacking on the gym. I haven't been going to the gym. I'm more of a runner. I do cardio. Like that's my fucking main thing. Like I just I ran my first half marathon recently. Like that was pretty fucking badass and shit. Like
Yeah, that is.
no, but like also like with the nutrition and stuff. Like is that like do you plan in the future to create your own products as well? Like specifically like your own protein like powders, all that stuff.
That's an idea the other trainer has.
Okay.
He has always thought about doing that. I have another friend who already does that, actually from New Bedford.
Really? Who's that?
His name is CJ. CJ Hubre, and he owns Performance IQ, which is a self-made supplement brand where he has a couple different supplements. So he was a district manager at GNC for a while. So he knew pretty much everything about every product, and then when he left there, he started making his own with his friend. So
Oh damn! What?
yeah, that's a small local chain of workout products.
Damn, that's pretty fucking badass. I didn't even know about that.
Yep.
See, and so I can imagine, in the future, you can one day just sit down with him and get all the knowledge you need to make your own.
Yeah, I've talked to him about putting his product in the gym too as well.
Oh hell
Having it for sale. So
support local, right?
exactly.
And and again, like with damn. Honestly, wait, I'm like looking at multiple things. I'm going like, my ADHD kicking in right now.
I don't want to
TLC.
circle back way
Yeah.
too far, but in the beginning, you guys were talking a lot about, your journey as going to college, but really pursuing the entrepreneurial spirit and finding a lot more success with that. Was there something that you knew while at college that was like, this is not the step I need to take? What was the convincing thing that said, all right, I'm ready to pursue this like full time. I'm ready to see where this goes.
So I didn't even have that thought. I actually was in college with the intent to finish, and what happened was COVID hit, and they turned all the classes from in. I was like halfway through a semester, and we were sent home, and we went into lockdown, and we did everything online. And then I found out the next semester was going to be online because of COVID, and I'm not somebody who can learn through a computer. It's not me. I won't lie to you, like, I'm not disciplined enough to sit down and study for an hour like that just because they tell me to. Like, I learn when I show up in class, and that's just the type of learner I am. I could not learn over the computer. So I stopped going that semester. And then the semester after that, I think it was also from home as well, but a lot of stuff was starting to open up again, and that's when I got the opportunity to open my store. And by the time that they even allowed college to go back, I was already like 6 months into a business that was doing well, and I was like, I really don't have the time to go back to school, and it's like, why am I gonna at this point, you know? And then everything just got bigger and better from there, and I've never even thought about going back since, if you want to be honest with you, but it wasn't my intent. I never walked into college one day and was like, oh, I don't even need this anymore. You know, that was never the case. It just so happened that COVID fucked that up. And I guess it was not a bad thing, though. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's the best business plan you ever made.
It was, yeah.
I was gonna say that's always like question, like you know, what I mean, I respect the people who like I'm on the same boat with you. I can't sit down like on a computer for fucking hours, and like it's you know, teach their own. If they want to go to school, do that shit. But it's, you know, what I mean, I'm more of a hands-on learner. Like, it's so. I feel like as a business, like if you're going for business, why not just start a business? Why go to school for? Well, obviously you learn more because you know, what I mean, there's different kind of, I guess, perspectives to learn through the college experience. I don't know. I haven't been in fucking years, but like is there any of the stuff that you've learned like in that time that you switched to business that you even like utilize now, like when it comes to your business, or is it kind of just more from, like you said, your experience of actually doing it and being out there in the real world?
Yeah, nothing that they'll ever show you in college, in my opinion, is ever going to prepare you for actually being in business. You know, like, it'll teach you a lot and it's going to give you a background, you know, but you always need to go into business like willing to learn things your own way and finding your own way of being successful, you know. Was there stuff that I learned in college that I utilized? There's some things, you know, there's a lot of things that I utilized in my business from when I was younger working at retail locations, like methods of like tracking sales and like how I run programs and stuff like that, you know. But a lot of the stuff that I've learned and used today is definitely stuff that I've taught myself or I've learned, you know, from my own experiences of failing and failing again until you get it right. And that's how a lot of people learn, you know. So that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, and I think that's what more people need to overcome too, is that we overthink as individuals of like things that haven't even happened yet, or like, you know, like again, like starting a business, like, oh, what if this doesn't happen? Like what I mean, what if this happens? What if this happens? Like, what if it doesn't go as planned? Like, well, you don't fucking know until you do it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And you know, another thing too is like, you know, people think that it was just like, you know, I woke up one day and I decided that I was gonna sell shoes and like that's how it happened. And like, I worked normal like 9 to 5 jobs since I was 18 until I was 25. It's not like I was just doing that, you know, the whole time on its own. Like I've worked everywhere, bro. I've been a mover. I was a painter. I worked at a shipyard. I was stocking alcohol at the liquor store. I worked at GNC. Like, I've had tons of jobs, you know, like the shoes was never the only job I had until 2 or 3 years ago when I could make it that way. It's not something that happened overnight. You're talking like it was on the back burner for around 8 years at least. You know, it's never going to be like something that happens overnight. And luckily for me, I just started that at a young age and it turned out to be something big, you know. Had I collected something else, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, honestly. So
And it's good that you say that too, like, because a lot of people don't see the hard work in the background. Like you said, it took years. Like, it's not something that just happens out of the blue. People only see that quick blow up and think like, oh, he got lucky, all this shit. It's like, no, it's you had the dedication, you had the drive, you were holding yourself accountable. Be like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Of course, sorry, of course, it was a hobby at first. You know what I mean? But like, as you saw the potential grow and grow, you're like, well, like, if I keep doing what I'm doing, like, it's something's gonna happen out of it.
yeah,
You know, and you know, kudos to you, man, for keeping that, you know, consistency and discipline. You know, because what if you didn't, you know, like you said, what if you didn't do this like started doing your collection, pushing yourself to do these things? You know, like,
yeah,
you just never fucking know. It's just like just stop overthinking.
exactly. You know, and like I remember like earlier this year was definitely when I was at like my most spotlight was on me. I was on the front of the Standard Times, and then I had all these interviews. Had an interview with the selectmen, and it was like probably almost 2 months where I was just doing interviews with all kinds of New Bedford Guide and all this one after another, and you know, and people were coming up to me and people I didn't even know, and they were just like, "Oh, you're that sneaker guy, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And it was kind of like, you know, crazy to hear because 5 years ago, I was a fucking mover, you know, just moving furniture, and not a single person came up to me and I'm like, "Oh, yo, you're that mover." I'm like, you know,
yeah, that move.
I was that mover at Walker and Sons in Wareham. It's not like
Holy
people
shit.
like, "Oh, you're that mover. You were moving furniture," and I'm just like, now I don't know, like, "Yo, you're that kid from that shoe store. You were just on the front of the Standard Times." I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." And it's like people just point me out and they're like, "You know, you're the sneaker store guy." And I just really, I was never used to that, you know. There's sometimes where, like, I'll even go to places. I think I was at Foxborough at the Bass Pro Shops, and some random guy just comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're the owner of that 508 sneaker store." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
Really?
Yeah, there's been another time, too, when my barber actually went to, Foxwoods in Connecticut, and he walked into one of the stores up there, and he was wearing a New Bedford shirt. And when they were talking to him about where he was from, he was like, and the guy asked him, "Oh, you know about the 508 sneaker store?" So it's
What?
yeah, it's something that it's definitely grown past New Bedford. You know, I have a YouTube channel too.
Oh, you're doing? Well, yeah. What are you doing on the YouTube channel?
It's just a day in the life of my store. I film buying shoes off people and stuff. Yeah. I'm a little past halfway to a partnership right now. So
Really?
yeah.
Well, with YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
By
okay.
the end of the year, I probably will be a partner with them.
Oh,
I have viewers now from the UK and London and other places. They comment on my videos all the time.
Damn. Do you get a lot of business from international like seas? Like,
I was when I was dealing with eBay. I don't sell on eBay anymore. But when I was doing a lot of international. I've even shipped shoes to Iraq before.
really?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Pakistan.
Like, hopefully those shoes don't get blown up now.
Yeah. Yeah. Pakistan. Ireland. There was a handful of places, but yeah.
Damn.
Now I mostly am just dealing with the U.S. and Canada and Puerto Rico just because it's easier. I hate the customs forms, and it's a lot of money to deal out of the U.S., so I just don't right now. But
Well, it's just like the whole shipping and like, or like.
it was easier with eBay because eBay was taking care of it, but then they got rid of that program, and now it's a newer one, and it's a lot more money, so it's just not worth my time, honestly, you know. So I cut that out.
It's like, y'all gonna have to travel here, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Have you had anyone actually travel from like international or anything like that?
Not international, but there's been a bunch of people who have visited family from this area, and there's been people who came from as far as like Cali. As far as traveling goes, I had a handful of people drive from New York to sell me shoes. Brooklyn, New York City, Maine, New Hampshire, definitely, 6-hour hauls for some people. And you're talking like big buys, like $20,000 collections, like big ones, bro.
What?
Yeah. I've had a U-Haul truck pull up to my store before with like 80 shoes in it.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, this is kind of like a little off, but like, what's the legacy you want to like leave behind? Like, what's the message you want people, like, in the future to, like, when they see you, your business, like, what's something you want to leave behind to maybe help motivate others? Like, what?
I mean, anybody who's known me from like the start of this, knows that this definitely wasn't my plan all along. And everybody who knows me knows how much work and how much effort and, you know, how much exhaustion I put into this. And, you know, the main thing I'll say is just you definitely never give up on it, you know, because I have thought about giving up on it in the past, and I did at one point for a short period of time before getting back into it. But I always found my way back to doing this, and it just worked for me, you know. And then the big thing is, like, you always want to work with other people and respect other people, like you said. You know, Wolf and Bear Co. was in here earlier, and they said that I'm always very supportive. You know, I'm always sharing other small businesses on my social media because I know I have a big one, you know. I'm on the verge of having 10,000 followers from 200 2 years ago. So, like, I've built that up, and I know I have a lot of eyes on me, so I try and do a lot of promotion for all the small businesses around here, you know, and try and help everybody out. I like going to those conventions and just working and networking with other small businesses too. So you just, like I said, you just got to be, like, friendly with everybody unless they give you a reason not to, you know.
And that's a great mentality to have. Like, even though, like you were saying earlier, like in a business like this, like there are some people like with the characteristics that are just cutthroat, but it's like, yeah, like what's that going to do in the long run?
Yeah. And I mean, I've had that happen. You know, I've worked with people that way before too. And, you know, not every business relationship works. Some do, some don't. And sometimes, you know, it's not what you want to do, but you do have to, like, cut that loss and cut that relationship with them. And it's the right choice sometimes, you know. So, but I mean, like I said, I try and tell everybody, you know, to work with everybody the best you can until you're given a reason not to. So,
'cause, you know, more than ever nowadays, you know, we need to support each other as neighbors, as you know, a city, and even more than that, you know, it's just like it's, you know, you have these, you know, corporations that are just making it harder and harder for the small, you know, small business to thrive, you know. So it's like the best thing to do is, you know, get help from your local, you know, local community, and, you know, just raise each other up, man. You know, why are you going to hate someone for them succeeding? You know, it should be a motivator for you to be like, all right, if he can do it, I definitely could fucking do this.
exactly. And it's like, you know, everybody's always so, like, preoccupied and thought up in the fact that it's like, you know, you gotta move to this place to be successful. You gotta move to, like, this place to make it big. But there's literally no fucking reason why you can't just bring that to here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to move to Boston or to Los Angeles or Nevada and, you know, to open a big primetime shoe store. You know, I think it's more respectable and honestly more, like, fulfilling to do it in your home area. And that's my goal, is to bring the biggest thing I possibly can to the 508 area. And that was my goal all along, you know.
No, you're doing exactly that, man.
So, but
no, you're doing exactly that. And, like, with that too as well, like, that's funny because, like, that was, you know, I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that was me. Like, I moved down to out of the city because I just, you know, honestly, I was like, I feel like I personally didn't think I had any potential, like, here, in the sense of, like, what I wanted to do and stuff. Like, so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna move and try out a different area. And, you know, that is cowardly in a sense of, like, why not stay if you truly love, you know, your city? Why not stay here, put in the work, put in the elbow grease, and, you know, make it better? You know, what, you're just gonna kick down the can into the next generation, and and maybe possibly just gets worse. You know what I mean? At that point, just kicking the can.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not to say that, you know, there isn't opportunities if you move away, because there is, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to take something good that I have going for me, that I'm well established in this area, and just move it somewhere else where it would be easier to make it successful when I'm already doing that here, even though it might be more difficult. You know, I'd rather bring it to this area and make this area be known for something than to just go be another shoe store in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Or, like I said, anywhere else. I want to be the shoe store in Fairhaven, New Bedford area, and that's my goal.
And keep a legacy to continue on too.
Exactly.
You
know?
No,
I see this as a chain. I do.
Oh fuck! Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, you plan on, like, you know, going to different states, and, you know, if whenever that time comes, like, opening up in different states and stuff, like.
Yeah, I'm totally down to franchise, bro. Totally.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the 508 shoe store down south. I'm like, damn, made it down here.
Exactly.
Well, now it would be the 757 at that point, but
Yep.
yeah. Oh, is that what you would do? Just change the area code
I
in
might
different
have to. I don't know. I haven't made it to that point yet, but we'll have to see, I guess, when that comes, right?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. You know,
Yeah.
seeing the drive that you have and the ambition. You know, like you said, you're very you're very focused on the dream. So you could definitely see it. Like,
Yeah.
And seriously, and actually, do you plan on like maybe even one day like fusing all the stores into one, like having like a fitness / like street and shoe like wear like in a big warehouse or something, like one day, like here, like at the main spot, like have one building where it's all
Oh.
goofing up. My mom.
Definitely not the gym with it. No, I don't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
Do I see like a big shoe and clothing store? Absolutely. I've always eyeballed the old Olympia Sports in Fairhaven as a location that I would like to take over one day.
Oh yeah.
It's really big and it's been vacant now probably for like 6 years, but it's a nice big location, storefront. It still has all the old Adidas and Nike logos up on the wall. And that would probably be like a great location for me to open up one big superstore. So that's something I've always had in my mind.
I can't wait for the grand opening, man.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's funny because I was picturing like with the gym and the shoes, like you just have like a dumbbell with like a bunch of shoes just on each end, like push it.
Oh my God. Hey, maybe I can have them side to side in the same plaza. I can see that, but as one thing though, I don't know, man. I don't think that people would buy into that.
Yeah, right. I'm like, these shoes look a little too sweaty.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking weak. Yeah, but fam, I wanted to say, thank you so much for your time, for even coming on the podcast and telling a bit of your story. It's pretty awesome, and I want to say, I want to give you the floor to shout yourself out of how people can support you, your dreams, your ambitions, the whole nine. And if you want to leave a message to the people out there who, look at you as an inspiration, or you can even just shoot the shits if you want to just tell them a bad joke. Go ahead.
I don't have any bad jokes to tell. But yeah, if you guys want to find me, I'm at the 508 Sneaker Store on Instagram and the 508 Sneaker Store on Facebook. And that is my home store. That was my first business. My grand opening is actually next week, June 3rd, for 508 Streetwear. And my gym is located in the same building. That's at 127 West Rodney French Boulevard. And the gym is called 508 PSC. That is also on Instagram. It is 508 Performance, Strength, and Conditioning. And everything that I've accomplished, I owe it to everybody who has supported me, and nothing more than that, because there was, a ton of times where, my friends were buying stuff off me and helping me out and getting me started, and then it started becoming, more people I was connecting with on Facebook, the general public, and then it just built from there and there and there and there. And, now you can go to a sneaker convention and you can tell them my name, and there's a pretty good chance that they're going to know who I am. But everything that I've accomplished today is just because of my support. And the store, the 508 Sneaker Store, was definitely the start of everything else. And I'll always, remember that. And I remember, being on Facebook, even meeting people that have been buying and supporting me since I was selling you shoes in Walmart, I'll always appreciate those guys. And like I said, any entrepreneurs, just learn what you can. Always be kind to the people that support you. Understand that not everybody can support you in the way you might want to. Maybe not everybody can afford your shoes, but if they're sharing your posts and they're telling people about your business, that's just as important as them buying product off you, because they could share that post and then somebody who sees it on their timeline could come and spend money with you. So just understand that everybody can support you in a different way, and not everybody has to support you in a way that's technically physically buying your product, because not everybody will be interested in your product, but it doesn't mean they don't want to see you winning.
Dude, that was beautiful. That was beautiful, man. So, dude, Cam, thank you so much, man. Seriously, I really wish you the best, man. Seriously, I only see greatness in in you, and I can't wait to like I said, that grand opening when you get the old Olympia store. That's gonna be fucking sick.
All right, bro.
Hey, guys, and thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I hope you guys are doing the best you can for yourselves and the people around you, because you know why? You fucking deserve it. Have a great one, and peace.
Later, guys.
Yee.
Literally right at the end.
Wait, really?
Last, like he was finishing his statement.